What is up, Steelers Nation? Thank you so much for jumping on to another episode of All Steelers Talk. I'm Noah Schreckbein, joined always by my main man, Jacob Punteri. Find us on youtube.com/All Steelers Talk. Check us out anywhere you get your podcast. The Pittsburgh Steelers begin the last portion of their offseason. OTAs number 9, I believe, is today. Our last kind of goodbye to the Pittsburgh Steelers for the next 6 weeks. They will practice tomorrow, will not be open. It's all said and done. The Pittsburgh Steelers head into the summer. And there are two topics of conversation. One of them is how the Pittsburgh Steelers may have lost any market they once had for Broderick Jones. It is all but over. And two, the Zach Frazier market is getting big and scary and expensive. We're diving into both, plus some what's more likely here on this beautiful Thursday. It is a tornado outside, my friend. Glad we have power. If we don't, love you guys. See you tomorrow. How you feeling, my friend?
Feeling good. Feeling thankful for the power in here. Feeling just a little bad for my wife. Who is dealing with our sweet son right now, who hopefully he is asleep. And if you're watching this, go to bed, son. But no, hopefully he's not giving her too many issues. I'm feeling great despite this stormy weather. And I am honestly kind of jazzed, to use a term I don't know if I use too often, but I'm going to say I don't use too often. I'm jazzed about this sort of tale of two offensive linemen here that we're going to dive into, with one market just going straight up, which I wrote about today, and another one, which I'm excited for you to kind of fill me in on, that's going in the complete opposite direction.
It's going in a rough direction. And look, the Steelers are a team that probably have no intentions of trading Broderick Jones today or tomorrow. But at some point this offseason, if Dylan Cook proves, hey, I'm a guy, I'm ready to be a starter, and he becomes the starter, and Maxi Honachor says, I'm a pretty capable backup right now, and I'm a pretty capable developmental piece, so that in the future you can turn me into a starter. If both of those things end up being true, the Pittsburgh Steelers will most likely move on from a Broderick Jones. If I was to ask you right now, without knowing the situation, what would a team give for Broderick Jones? What would you say?
Well, and perhaps you are going to surprise me with your response to what I have to say, but I am a little shocked that there is even a conversation to be had about a market for Broderick Jones. And maybe that is sour grapes. Maybe that's being a little too close to what's going on.
True.
And seeing what has sort of transpired and how the Steelers have sort of handled and treated and how Jones has performed as well. So I'm a little bit surprised that there is a conversation to be had here. And all that to say, I would imagine a late round draft pick if somebody really wants them, because they're taking a risk on a player that they see some upside potential in, but there is nothing really on tape or any history on paper to suggest that he is a starter like the first round tag he once had. So I would say very little is the market for him by my estimation.
I would guess the same thing. 7th round pick is what you're getting for Broderick. 6th, maybe if you're lucky. A guy that somebody's going to try to turn into something more, but understand that he comes with now massive injury concerns, because a neck injury really never goes away. And it's nobody really knows what's going to happen there. Broderick is trying. He needs to get back on the field, but neck injuries are scary and serious, and you just don't know the outcome of them until it's over.
Right.
And I mean, he's got 1 year left on his deal. You're not doing much for a guy who isn't going to do much for you. I think his market has all but evaporated, my friend. I don't even think it exists where we sit today, and I'll tell you why. Yesterday, the Kansas City Chiefs decided to sign Patrick Mahomes to, another $230 million deal or something. They were like, you want to know what would be awesome? Adding to the money. And he was like, yeah, dude, that would be great. I don't know if you've ever seen Patrick Mahomes' house in 45 minutes when we're done with the show. Look it up. It's pretty ridiculous. And the fact that he already owns that and needs more money, good for Patrick Mahomes. Truthfully, great for Patrick Mahomes. Today, they got rid of his backup offensive tackle in Wanya Morris, who started 16 games over 3 years, is still just, I believe, 4 years old, very young player.
25.
25 years
no
old.
No big difference.
A guy who won a Super Bowl with them, who was a spot starter when needed, who performed decent when called upon. He got traded for a 6th-round pick to the Atlanta Falcons. A 6th-round pick. He is healthy. He is probably just as good as Broderick Jones, if not better. I don't think Broderick Jones, has any market whatsoever. I think as of today, it's over. I don't think the Steelers could ever trade him. I think they will just let Broderick walk and never receive any compensation for a 1st-round pick.
Let me, I guess, try to start with the professional angle.
Okay.
There is
always a good option, I feel.
I think so. I think so. There is very little market for an offensive tackle, just in a nutshell, that is coming off of a serious injury, let alone one that is so specific and so unique and so unknown, like the one Broderick Jones has been dealing with and the timeline that he's been dealing with in order to return. It doesn't matter who that player is. There is not a lot of interest around the league. You want certainty, especially at this point in the offseason. You need camp bodies. You need competition.
For sure.
Wanya Morris, is going to go in there. He's going to play alongside, is it Jawan Taylor? Jawan Taylor, another former Kansas City Chiefs tackle. They're going to have the opportunity to do some things. Broderick Jones might not even play. So if I am an inquiring team, I would need certainty regarding that before I even discuss any sort of compensation going back to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The non-professional sort of take on this is like the writing was on the wall.
Yes.
As soon as they declined his 5th-year option.
Agreed.
The writing was on the wall a year before that when he didn't quite make the transition, to left tackle, or the year before that when he couldn't do that. Right tackle wasn't the best. There were some spots, but I mean, this has been a long time coming. There is not a trade market for a guy who underachieves and does not meet expectations. And part of that is not his fault. He should not have been, the Steelers' 1st-round draft pick in 2023 like they made him. But is that the right year?
Yeah.
But, hindsight's 2020.
Yeah, agreed.
But yeah, I don't
think he was going to go 1st round. That's the thing, is he was going to be a 1st-round pick no matter what. The Steelers just never developed him. They took a shot on a guy that I think that's a lot of 1st-round picks is you take a shot on a guy in a bad draft class. What you're doing is saying, well, what could we get? Where are the biggest dice to roll? And Broderick Jones was the biggest dice to roll at the time. It didn't work out. I was hoping you could get something for him. I don't think you could get anything for him. And Nate Moore in the comments here brings up a good point. Wouldn't it make more sense to let Broderick walk? If he gets a decent contract, you get a high comp pick. I don't think there's any chance Broderick Jones signs a deal higher than a 1-year prove-it deal worth like $5 million.
Yeah, I imagine he's going, unless he has there has to be some very dramatic turn of events for Broderick Jones to go from seemingly a fringe NFL player right now, just to be
agreed.
Just to be very
100% agreed.
Straight shooter here. He has to go from that to maybe to invoke the Dan Moore sort of comparison a little bit further. He would have to come back, show that he's healthy, and then steal the starting position away from Dylan Cook on the right side, which would then be in and of itself another whole move, because that would be him going back to a position that he did not play when he was healthy last in a Steelers uniform. There's just so many things that would have to happen. Again, a dramatic turn of events. We got a kitty behind us?
We do.
Oh, can this interrupt us? Oh, you're beautiful.
We have a cat.
Oh my goodness.
Cat comes to say
apologies. Hi. Yeah. When you have the brain of a father of a newborn, distractions are enough to just be like, I'm done. Broderick has so far to go. And my one other point that I wanted to bring up here with that comment is the comp pick stuff is obviously something that Omar Khan needs to be thinking about. But just as a reminder, it's about the overall spending that a team does versus what they lose. So while it is beneficial for Broderick Jones to get the bag somewhere else in order for the Steelers to potentially recoup a pick, if they hypothetically were to spend more, it wouldn't matter how much that contract was. So you let Broderick Jones walk for sure, but you don't have a hope right now that he's going to net you a 4th round pick or something like that in the following draft.
No chance. Plus, you're going to sign, I would imagine, at least 2 veterans, one of them being an inside linebacker, and that inside linebacker is probably going to be somebody that counts against your comp formula. Right. If I had to guess, I just don't. Maybe a safety. So to me, Broderick's not going to, and he's not going to get here's the thing. Broderick's most likely not going to play this season, which means that unless you do trade him, he's not going to see the field, and nobody's going to take a big risk on him. They might take a risk, but chances are they're probably not going to. On the other side of this conversation, Zach Frazier's about to earn the bag, my son. Where would you rank Zach Frazier right now in terms of centers in the NFL?
Top 5. Easily.
Easily.
Do I need to be more? Was your question more specific than that?
No.
I think we could talk about it. But I think it's no question he's top 5. Then we get into the nitty gritty about, is he top 3? Are there 3 guys better than him? 4, 2. There's maybe 1 or 2 in my mind that I think you can make an argument for.
Agreed.
But I think Zach Frazier is already entering year 3, one of the elite players at his position.
Yes. And when it comes to year 3, if he plays himself into a top 3 role, he's getting paid top 1 money. That's what's happening. Is if you are Zach Frazier and you are already top 5, which means chances are you're going to get top 2 money. Tyler Linderbaum is like a super big outlier. If you play yourself into top 3, you are the 3rd best center in the NFL. You're getting paid number 1 money, if not like right below number 1 money. But you're going to get that $27 million ridiculous contract. If you keep yourself in top 5, I think you're getting significantly less than that. However, no matter what, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers price tag has been set for Zach Frazier in a minimum, and it starts at $18 million because Aaron Brewer signs I believe, 3-year deal worth $56 million. $17 million a year makes him the 2nd highest paid center in the NFL. $10 million between him and Tyler Linderbaum, which is nuts. But there it is. There's your price tag, $17 million minimum. And it's a double-edged sword because you don't want him to be paid $28 million a year. That's ridiculous.
Sure.
But you want him to be worth $28 million a year. And you unfortunately might find yourself in that situation.
Well, listen, and I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, for the entirety of their existence, would probably tell you when a player earns a big contract, a market resetting contract, they are more than willing to pony up their end of the bargain. They did it with TJ Watt just last year. They most likely will do it again in the coming weeks or months regarding Joey Porter Jr. And it could happen again and again. And you can point to tons of examples in the past as well. There is no doubt in my mind that Zach Frazier, a still ascending 3rd-year player who is 25, will turn 26 next year. That's the same age Tyler Lindenbaum is right now. Creed Humphrey is 25 as well. Aaron Brewer is 28. Cam Jurgens is 25. There's a commonality here, outside of our friend Aaron Brewer, who congrats to him on getting, that nice extension. But Linderbaum, Humphrey, and Cam Jurgens are the 3 other guys that are like the premier players at the center position. They all make at least $17 million. I think Zach Frazier might just be better than, possibly he could be the best center in football. I think right now he is playing his way into being a top 3 center in football. Give him $20 million is sort of the take I have on that entire situation. Las Vegas Raiders are an anomaly. This Linderbaum contract feels like an anomaly because the center position is truly one when you go through the top rated players and the top paid players at the position. It does reflect sort of who is the best performer and where they are at in their NFL career, right? Like it's Tyler Linderbaum, Creed Humphrey right after that. Aaron Brewer now is 3rd, and then Cam Jurgens, Connor McGovern, Elgin Jenkins, Eric McCoy, and Sean Ryan. These are all, if you were to list the top 7, 8, 10 centers. They're all there except for Zach Frazier.
Yes.
So, pay the man. You don't have to do this till next year, but boy, did Aaron Brewer not help the Steelers cause whatsoever.
Smoke the Steelers cause. I mean, literally just said, hey, pals. Yeah. The Miami Dolphins were literally just like, hey, guys, we're going to suck this year, but you want to know what we could do? We could totally screw the Steelers. So let's make that happen. And they did that. On top of it, what's Troy's market a year from now? Troy's market's got to start at 25.
At least.
At least. What's the highest paid left tackle?
I'll find out right now. But if you thought that this offseason was, what's the right word? Tradition breaking, it was so different, so unconventional for a Pittsburgh Steelers offseason in terms of extensions, re-signings, renegotiations, whatever you want to call it. Next offseason is going to be so ridiculously expensive for the Pittsburgh Steelers because of the Zach Frazier and Troy Fautanu extensions that will be handed out, and they will be very expensive. The highest average salary for the 2026 season is going to be Laremy Tunsil with the Washington Commanders, who makes $30. Then we got a lot of guys in the range of 28 to 25, and then even more in the 23 to 20, and even more in the 20 to 17. So you're going to pony up.
Yeah.
You're going to pony up.
You're paying 25. I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers paid Troy Fautanu $29 to $32 million a year. Broke the $30 mold. You know what I mean? The $30 million mold. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they at least consider it?
Dan Moore makes 20.5.
I know. Shout out to Dan Moore, dude. That boy that got the bag. And Dan Moore was the nicest human. Deserves the bag, just for being nice. And I see Troy I wouldn't be surprised at all if Troy's the highest paid left tackle in the NFL next year.
I feel like maybe we are on an island when we say this, but is he not already a guy who feels like he could be a first-team All-Pro left tackle?
No, for sure.
Is he that far off?
No, I think he's right there.
Is it Pittsburgh bias?
No, I think he's right there.
Okay.
And I think
so too.
Him playing the left side is going to just put a bigger spotlight on him.
I agree.
I think the fact that he's moving with Mason only helps things. And I think that having an offensive coach is going to work wonders, because you want to know the guys that we forget when we talk about Mike McCarthy, the offensive linemen. Think about how great it is when you're running up a play and you don't have Darnell Washington and Spencer Anderson running into your back because you're just trying desperately to get everybody into the hole before the running back. Imagine when you have concepts drawn up where guys just understand things and the offense moves in a way where the offensive line just has to block for like the correct amount of seconds, 2.5 seconds, 3 seconds. Like
that's it.
It changes everything. And I think Troy could be top 5 tackle in the NFL by the end of the season. I think they have that. And you're going to lock both of them up. At least I would think. There's no way you let either of these guys walk.
You try your damnedest until you just can't anymore. That is the only sort of marching orders I think Omar Khan has from the ownership down. If I know anything about the Pittsburgh Steelers, they want to have they believe that when they have guys in the trenches, they want to keep those guys around long term on both sides of the ball. Here's your golden opportunity, a pair of 24, 25-year-olds who you could lock up until their age 30 seasons. It's a no-brainer. Just go do it. It's winning football.
That's what I'm saying. I agree. Here's the outlier, though. Would you sign? Do you think we're a year out? We're talking contracts a year out, but they're relevant in the news today. Let's say Frazier gets $23 million a year, $24 million. Troy gets, let's say, 30. Is Mason McCormick left out, or do you try to keep him? I think you have to try to keep him.
You try, and there's less of a market for him, or a lower market, maybe is a more
for sure a reasonable market.
Yes, yeah. You're not giving him 23. You're not giving him 30. Just to use those numbers once again, but you could extend him if this specific offseason is any sort of example or template for the Pittsburgh Steelers to follow, he might be the first one to get an extension next offseason because he's the guy who you get on that 4-year, $32 million deal or that 4-year, $40 million deal.
Yes.
Maybe he's the easier piece of business for the Pittsburgh Steelers to complete and get done. But I mean, I don't think he's going to be left out regardless of what transpires with Zach Frazier and Troy Fautanu next offseason.
I don't think you could. Like, I don't think you could look at Mason McCormick and say, hey, we're going to let you walk. We'll figure it out. No. You're just figuring it out now. You're getting to a place that you actually could figure it out. You have to keep them together. You can't get rid of any of them. And I'm telling you, those guys are going to be 1 to 10 odds. The Steelers have the highest paid left tackle and center in the NFL 2 years from now.
7.
Yeah, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's
Likely
crazy high to say Zach Frazier is going to actually do it, because that's what Aaron Brewer did. He said, hey, this is where it is, dude. And the next one, like, Aaron Brewer's not Zach Frazier, you know?
No.
He's not. And he just got paid. Aaron Brewer's going to do what Joey Porter's going to do. Like a top 10 really good guy getting way higher on the price depth chart than he is talent-wise. That's what Joey's going to do. And it's deserved. But what it does is mean that next year when Trent McDuffie, no, he already signed, whoever, Devin Witherspoon signs a contract, it's going to be $35 million. You know what I mean? Because it's just got to go that much higher. And that's going to be Zach Frazier. Zach Frazier is the next guy. And that's what happened.
Zach Frazier is not only the next guy, but maybe, to sort of end my thoughts on him, maybe the best guy to come along.
Yes.
In a very long time for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
For sure.
Just regardless of any position, like, he is truly one of the best players that they have drafted into this organization. And I think that is still at a very early stage of his career and what he's going to end up being. So
yes,
it's a no-brainer to me to get this done and pay him whatever that costs.
I agree. All right. Let's round out the show with a little what's more likely on our hands. We missed it yesterday. We'll do it today. Looks like it stopped raining too, so shout out to Pittsburgh. Didn't drown today.
Out today. Remember that song from Annie?
I
loved it. Yeah. Remember the lyrics?
Shout out to Annie.
I think that one.
I remember that one, actually. Yeah. Just that lyric. It's the only one I remember. So shout out to Annie, dude.
You're welcome.
Oh, she's doing well. All right. What you got for me?
Oh my gosh. Man, I got 4, maybe a 5th one if I feel, if I feel up to it. Wow. We'll see where we go.
A little bonus WML.
A little bonus WML.
Okay.
If you will.
I'm here for it.
The first one, I need just sort of a recap, a closing on this sort of Troy Fautanu, Zach Frazier debate, debacle, pending negotiations. What is more likely? Is it more likely that Troy Fautanu becomes the highest paid left tackle, or is it more likely that Zach Frazier becomes the highest paid center next offseason? You can't pick both. What is more?
That is so hard. That's so much closer than you think it was. Than you think it is.
I think it's very difficult to answer
because you would think, no way, Zach Frazier's not getting $28 million a year. There's just no chance. He could. Zach Frazier is the second best center in the league behind Creed Humphrey after this season, and he's asking for a contract extension. You're paying him less than Tyler Linderbaum? Not a chance in any world, my friend. He is the highest paid center. Troy Fautanu, I don't even think he has to be there. Like, I just think he's getting the money. I would find it so hard for the Steelers to not look at Troy and say, we will pay you number 1 tackle money because we have a franchise left tackle, and that is the most important position to have on the offense outside of quarterback, hands down. Maybe more important. The fact that they have one before a franchise quarterback is huge. I would say it's more likely Troy does because I think the standard will be less. But, I mean, we'll come back to this a year from now and say both of them are. I got a pretty good feeling on that, but I'll pick Troy.
I think that's a great. In my gut, my pick is Zach Frazier because I think this is just ridiculous. Where we're at right now.
Do you think there's a chance both of them break 30?
A small chance, but yes, I think there's a great chance Troy does. Again, the market sort of dictates that he's going to.
Yeah. He won't be the first. Somebody will sign before him at like 31.
Absolutely, someone's going to get a ton of money before him, but. Yes. I think Zach Frazier could also make $30 million. And I think that, if someone else gets a ton of money anyone else. You know, if anyone else gets 20, then all of a sudden the conversation is like, he's got it. You got to beat Linderbaum. It's going to get interesting. I'm pumped for it. We'll shift away from that for now, and let's talk a little bit about quarterbacks.
Love it. Can't go conversation. You can't go an episode without a quarterback.
Not a day in Pittsburgh goes by without everybody talking about something about Pittsburgh sports, but it's always the quarterbacks, of course.
Yes.
We're going to see this quarterback competition behind Aaron Rodgers come back again once training camp everybody is there and training camp begins, the preseason.
Yes.
We all have our assumptions about what is going to happen, but tell us, Noah, who is the most likely number 2 quarterback where things stand right now? Is it Mason Rudolph, or is it Will Howard, or is it Drew Aller, to be fair?
It's not Drew Aller, I'll tell you that one.
Okay.
But it's also not Mason Rudolph. And I think that the competition is closer than you think. Mm-hmm. I don't think Will Howard's running away with anything right now. He looks pretty normal out there, nothing spectacular. I think Mason's looked bad at times. And I think because of that, it's not, what if Mason has one bad preseason game? It's over. You don't come back from that. You don't come back from one bad preseason game if you're Mason Rudolph. Mm-hmm. If Will has 3 very normal preseason games, 1 touchdown and everything, no interceptions, 150 yards a game. And Mason has 1 game where it's 75 yards, 2 interceptions, Mason's gone. And I'm not going to sit here and say that's not out of the question. It's Will. I don't think the whole Will's got to play himself into QB2 thing is that big of a challenge. You're going to play a number 1 defense for a series and a half. And it's going to be like Carolina's defense. It's not going to be serious. I think you could pull it off. And I think once we get to training camp and Mike McCarthy really likes Drew Aller and really starts to come into himself in Drew Aller and see that it's working, he's going to be able to tell himself, I'm going to develop 2 guys, because he's putting all his time into Drew right now. And once he sees he could do what he needs to do with Drew, I think he's going to tell himself, oh, I might be able to do that with Will too. You know who I'm not going to be able to do that with? Mason Rudolph. Gone. So it's Will Howard.
Yeah, Mason's got some zip on the ball here. So, we'll see what happens when they break from camp and preseason. Listen, I agree with you. It seems like they're going to go 2 young guys behind Aaron. But there's this little nagging thought, this creeping thought in the back of my mind that's don't count your chickens just yet.
I agree. I don't disagree.
When I shaved this morning, I definitely did not get all of the hairs in uniformity across my nose. So I can feel either that or my nose hairs are growing outside of my nose and tickling me. So I'm not picking my nose today for anyone watching. I have this itch that I just cannot adjust my hair properly to make stop. And we press on. I do it for you. I do it for you. I do it for you.
I appreciate it. I don't even know. I think I'd go stir crazy if I looked at one out of place hair.
When I look in the mirror later, I'm going to be so mad at myself for missing it. I just know it. And if you see it right now, don't tell me because I just don't want to deal with it. Act like it doesn't exist.
I would never.
Here's my third one for you, Noah, because nothing else happened in between the second and third question.
Love it.
Let's talk rebound years. Let's talk who's going to be the tone setter on defense. Hopefully it's TJ Watt. Hopefully it's Deshaun Elliott, all these names. But here's 2 names I want to compare. One of them, our stud TJ Watt. Does he have a rebound year that is, in my mind, 12.5 sacks or more, fully rebound dominant year? Or does Patrick Queen put up 110 tackles or more and play himself into some sort of new contract, which is probably not in Pittsburgh, but he plays like a number 1? What's more likely? Is that rebound year coming from PQ or TJ Watt?
So I like that you preferenced and said, or expanded and said, and place himself into a number 1, because PQ is going to have 100 tackles. He's going to have 125 tackles. He's going to lead the team in tackles. It's going to happen. This is where it gets interesting. I actually just had this conversation on Afternoon Drive. Go check out Afternoon Drive. But after this, I think it drops at 5 p.m. where everybody's talking about TJ being a better player in Patrick Graham's defense. What about PQ being a better player in Patrick Graham's defense? What if Patrick Graham could put PQ and Peyton Wilson in more advantageous situations and they could take advantage of it? I'm not saying that they're going to be elite. I'm just saying they're not bad football players and they played poorly last year. Maybe Patrick Graham can influence TJ and the inside linebackers. And I have a lot of faith in Patrick Graham to be able to do that. However, if I'm taking a shot on anybody, it still remains TJ Watt, and it will always remain TJ Watt until he leaves a football field. To me, you can't talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers without talking about TJ Watt being a guy who could be a bounce back contender. So I would put my money on TJ Watt.
Spoken like a true Yinzer through and through. And I get it. I see we're at the 30-minute mark, so I'll hit you with my fourth one here, and then we'll see where things go.
Sounds good to me.
Roster construction, things are crazy. We talked blockbusters recently. I've written about some, talked about some on Puntori's playbook. That sort of aside, I anticipate some sort of roster moves are going to happen between now and when everyone reports to Latrobe. So Noah, what is more likely? Is it that the Steelers add another safety to the defense, or is it that they add another tackle before their first preseason game?
Oh, I think that's closer than you think too.
Yeah,
I do. I think that adding another tackle is very much a possibility for the Steelers. What if Dylan Cook's not good? What if Max Honichor is not ready to go? You're not just giving up on right tackle. You're not going to be like, yeah, we'll be okay. No, this is an offensive-minded head coach. If anything, he's going to ignore Darnell Savage and not Maxi Honichor and Dylan Cook. You know, to me, I'm watching you up here, and it's hilarious to watch.
I don't know what it looks like I'm doing, and I don't really care.
You can
maybe
just watch.
I should.
Just immediately
drop in the comments what you think I'm doing right now.
People will leave if they're new. They will
don't say that.
They will read the comments and be like, I'm out. I don't. Mike McCarthy's not going to ignore an offensive position. So I truthfully, I think I would go offensive tackle because I think that they'll ignore Darnell Savage. And I don't think Darnell Savage is bad. And I think that's all it's going to take. So I would say tackle. As crazy as that sounds, I would say tackle.
I think, yeah, I saw that too. I think that's a great and totally logical argument. I just look at the safety position and I go, you don't even have 4 that are NFL players.
No.
You do have 2 NFL right tackles. Maybe not good ones. Maybe not even starters yet. But you have 2. You have legitimately 2 NFL safeties. Yes. One who might be if he's healthy, and another who's trying to prove he could be. I think safety, but I respect your opinion. And I love Nate Moore's comments about this because what is this cat's name?
This is Bella.
Bella,
yes.
Which you probably told me a million times, and
a million times.
Hi, Bella.
She's not gonna leave now. She's the other one to leave. She's not leaving.
Where head scratch kind of kitty?
She doesn't.
Okay, just attention kitty.
Just an attention kitty.
All right, Bella, my puppy. Hi, love you. Hello.
All right. With that said, that's everything on our agenda. We're going to start answering all your questions. Toss them in the chat. But first, we got a quick word from our boys over at Prize Picks, America's #1 sports picks app and the best place, to win cash while watching sports. It's easy. Just pick your players, set your lineups, and watch. You'll pick more or less on individual stats for each player, or you'll pick winner spreads or totals on any major game. Plus, Prize Picks operates in most states, including California, Texas, and Florida. We're going NBA Finals. First off, did you see anything from last night? Because I am rooting for the Knicks, and it is crazy.
All I know is that the Knicks are up 3-1 now.
They are.
Correct.
And it is the craziest NBA Finals series I have watched ever in my life. Shout out to the Knicks, my dad is a Knicks fan and huge Knicks fan. And I was like, I'm going to try to take them to the Garden. Take a guess at what the lowest price ticket was.
$2,000.
$7,800. $7,800 was the
I thought
lowest.
The working man was getting in, but apparently that is not true.
Nobody's getting in. But what's the get-in ticket price in San Antonio for Game 5? Above $700, above $800, above $900, or above 1,000? What are we feeling here?
Above 1,000. We risk it.
I'm thinking above 1,000 too. I'm thinking this is going to get a little crazy. We're here, and this is crazy.
Shooter got to shoot.
The shooter's got to shoot. Using my promo code HMA or by clicking the link below. New users who play $5 get $50 in lineups. Just download the app using the promo code and the link. Can't wait to hear your lineups. All right. Shout out to our members. Shout out to our super chatters. If I pick up the cat, dude, the cat's never gonna leave. She's just gonna keep coming up. You gotta just let her.
Would Bella sit on the table?
No, she would just walk back and forth and knock things over.
Okay.
Yes.
What was the you ever watch Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
Yeah.
Like the old school one?
It was Salem.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the cat's name.
That's what Bella looks like.
That's what Bella looks like. Shout out to our members. If you haven't seen it yet, members only live stream dropping tomorrow, 1 p.m. Be there. Bring your questions. We'll be hanging out for like a half hour or so, answering everybody's questions, going through everything, chit chatting, BS, and having a good time. Let's get things kicking here with good old Maddie. Keep the mighty trio, Troy, Mason, and Zach. What's Mason's contract look like in your eyes? What's the average? You got him right there. What's the average? What's a guard get paid in the NFL these days of Mason McCormick's stature and resume, which you got to think 3-year starter.
3-year starter is where we start. I think we're talking comfortably above $8 million, right?
What's the? Oh, I think he gets double digits.
I think, yeah.
Give me a guy making $14 million somewhere in that ballpark.
Elijah Vera Tucker, David Edwards signed a $15.25 yearly deal with the New Orleans Saints. Do you think
that's where he's at?
You think he's
13 to 15, somewhere in that ballpark?
I would try to get him for 12. You know, that'd be. But I think you are probably a little bit more.
I think he's going to have a market. That's my thing. Is I think he's going to understand. You got to have to pay him market value, which
Isaac made 10.5 per year.
Yeah, but he's like
with Arizona,
right?
So going off of that, there's a starter who has been consistent in his entire career, but he is 32. Mason McCormick is 25, 26. You know, what is that 5-6 age difference worth? Is it worth $5 million?
I think it's worth $5 million.
You might be right.
It's his second contract. Contract compared to last, I think.
How do you feel if the left side of the offensive line, and this is not, I hope
totally fine.
You got 15 for Mason,
totally fine.
28 for Zach, and 30 for Troy. So you'd have, what would that be? Fast math, $73 million.
$73 million, and you're paying Maxi Hanachor $5 million.
$7.
Yeah, and we could even get crazier. Jennings Dunker is making. Oh, there she is.
Yeah,
there's Bella Beans. All right, get down, kid. She came and went. She'll never stop. He's making $1 million.
Wow.
So you'd be paying $8 million on the right side of the line. It's totally fine to me.
So then you have 81 total in your entire offensive line, and I bet that's most good offensive lines.
I was gonna say, I feel like that's a pretty average place to be in.
Well, who do you think's a good team? Philadelphia.
The Philadelphia Eagles offensive line.
That's the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah,
Landon Dickerson makes 19.5.
Okay.
This did not go as quickly as I had hoped.
We can't Google.
Cam Jurgens makes 17.
Okay.
So there's 36. Then let's talk about their tackles.
I feel like you could. Okay, so Lane Johnson makes 18. Jordan Mailata makes 15.
Okay, 33.
Dickerson makes 6.5. And you said Jurgens makes what? 17? 17. Which actually, I take that back. All those numbers went up. 20, 15, 9. This says 5.5.
For Jurgens?
Yeah. But we'll say 17. We'll say 17 for sure. Either way, I mean, that's very small, but it's also guys that signed years ago compared to right now, you know?
Sure.
I think that's a reasonable.
The we got mixed up in terms of cap hit versus average annual salary. So are we too far into the weeds on this at this point?
No, you're good. I still think that the Steelers paying $81 million, I'd be okay with.
In average annual salary, I'm great with. And as we've Cam Jurgens, Landon Dickerson, Mailata, Lane Johnson, they all make
50.
They all make like 50 to 60 some $million.
Yeah,
in average annual salary. The cap hits are not that, but the Steelers are also quite, what's the word? Impressive when it comes to salary cap.
Oh yeah,
finagling.
They're salary cap savvy, and they will be able to. Plus, again, they won't have a quarterback. The Eagles are paying Jalen Hurts $50 million a year. Different situation.
Very
different situation. KGK is for life. Pittsburgh weather never stops to amaze us. It's beautiful outside. I might cut my grass after this.
I saw at least 3 trees that fell down on my way over here.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Actually.
Did you hear? Was it loud over here?
Loud.
I was gonna say it was scary loud over at our house.
Yeah, I was doing the afternoon drive and it hit, and I was like, all I kept thinking about was, Alan, I apologize. All I kept thinking about was my grill's wide open right now, and I gotta go shut the grill. Gotta go.
I got glizzies on the grill.
This is what happens when you make hot dogs for lunch on a Thursday. You leave it open and it becomes a disaster. Shout out to the Pittsburgh weather here. CT every day is too cold. What's more likely? Jacob has a second child or Noah does a pod without a hat on. # show us that hairline. Can't do it today, brother. The hair is... I wear a hat every day because I go to the gym in the morning and then I'm like, I'm not going to shower until my day's over.
Yeah. Yeah, you've definitely done episodes.
I did yesterday without.
Okay, yeah.
The hairline is rough though.
We're not having another kid for a while. I say that, and
the Steelers.
I'm not the one driving the ship here.
It is true. It's God driving the ship.
My wife. That's a weird way to spell Tory.
It's the same person, dude.
Same person. In our house, they're one and the same.
Same person, dude. I'd go watch a walkover in like Cleveland or something. You'll get a good look at the hairline. It's windy. It's real windy.
Don't be. Yeah. Hey, dude. At least you're not balding like me before age 30.
Whatever. What are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Hats are a thing, dude.
Yeah.
Hats they're a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing.
I love you regardless of a hairline.
Love you, my guys. KGK is for life. What's first, AST, YouTube, or Discord emojis? KGK for life getting on. Look, the off season starts today officially, so these things now actually get done. I filed my taxes. I file my taxes in like 4 days. We're not even there yet. Yeah, and everybody's looking at me like, "What are you talking about?"
Do you normally?
Yeah, all the time.
On purpose?
Yeah.
Does the IRS know about this?
They do.
They're cool with it?
They do.
All right.
They do.
Oh, you file an extension?
Extension. Yeah, because I'm not doing that in April because we have things going on.
Yeah.
So I have a giant list. On that list, it says AST YouTube emojis. So I'll get it done. Or GTA 6 is never coming out. Never coming out.
Man, I wish.
It would have been awesome. But
I dream about it every night.
I honestly do too, dude.
Tell my son about it.
Your son's never going to get to play. He might be 18 before GTA 6 comes out. He really might. Maddie, Fields, Howard, and Aller plus a rookie in 27. Who wins?
Nobody.
I would guess the rookie.
The rest of the AFC North.
I would guess Will Howard or the rookie. Who wins in a competition, Justin Fields or Will Howard?
Will Howard.
Yeah?
Yeah. Different.
Mike McCarthy's
different
offense.
Stocks. Yeah.
This
still
year.
Will Howard. This year, still Will Howard. Wow. Yeah. Justin Fields is not a.
He's not.
Is
good.
not a. No. Well, sure. What I was going to say is Justin Fields is not a fit with what Mike McCarthy wants to do with this offense.
Yeah, I agree.
He's not accurate side to side, and that is a big part of what Mike
McCarthy.
Not
accurate at all.
Sure,
like
but he could throw it downfield and connect on one or two.
He could.
Ask him to throw an 8-yard out. You're like, oh,
yeah, no, it ain't happening.
He killed someone with that ball.
But he could maybe redefine. I mean, he Drew Aller him, dude. He did, because that throwing motion is get the full shoulder stretch in there.
Drew Aller
wouldn't come close.
He's working really hard though.
He is. And I think he's improved.
And he is a quarterback coach.
I actually just talked to a couple of people about this. Like, I think he really has improved a ton in the first 3 weeks he's been here. And now he started at 0 and he's at 3, but still steps forward.
Correct.
Still steps forward. Chris,
Correct.
Guys, which wide receiver looks better, Wilson or Bernard? I would say Jeremy Bernard. To me, like, Wilson looks good. Don't get me wrong. Jeremy Bernard is so impressive. Jeremy Bernard is not a rookie. You can't convince me he is a rookie at all. He walks around like a pro. He works drills like a veteran. His presence at all time is just like George Pickens came in here and he was a phenom and you were like, dude, this is crazy. But it was a rookie and you knew he was a rookie and he acted like a rookie and there was a presence about him that's a rookie. Juju was the same thing. Jeremy Bernard comes in here and is a pro's pro. This dude walks, talks, and plays like a veteran. It's crazy. Jeremy Bernard's very impressive.
There is, I think, a reason why, he was given the nickname Unk in college.
He was given the nickname Unk, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that fits him. He is an Unk.
There is, I think, by all accounts, a sort of older, perhaps calm, more poised sort of air that he gives off that is, pretty rare for young players in their first year in the NFL. But, I mean, it's a great attribute to have, and I'm excited to see how it translates to on-field production whenever things get a little bit more ramped up here as the summer heat turns up. Agreed.
The Simp 88. Oh my God, don't let her break the cup. That's awesome. Highsmith out? I don't think so. If Highsmith was going to get is going to get traded, where's your time frame of that trade? Like, when do you start actually when do you check your phone before you go to bed, check it when you wake up, and the first thing that you're thinking both times is, man, did Alex Highsmith get traded?
And I'll give two responses. In just a perfect world where there's no outside factors to consider and it's just all these teams are where they're at right now, I'm doing it the moment everyone reports to training camp every single night and morning. I'm just thinking about it. My answer that I think is maybe a little bit more realistic is the first time somebody gets hurt. It's the first time another team, and not a Steeler. And I feel like I said this anytime we talk about injuries, I hate to even invite the thought of it into the conversation, but the minute a team loses their starting edge rusher, I'm like, well, maybe we should have a story ready.
Yes.
Maybe we should start thinking about what this might look like.
Yes. I think the same thing. I think once Abdul Carter was the warning sign.
Yes. Yeah.
It can happen at any moment. And when it does, the Steelers are going to get a phone call. And they're the first team that's going to get a phone call. And I think they get phone calls over the summer. I think John Lynch comes back from a little like Aruba vacation and gets on the phone with Omar and says, hey, buddy, just checking in. And also, how's Alex Highsmith? Pissing you off? Would you like to trade him to us? That would be awesome. We would take him. I think Jerry Jones does the same thing. Hey, Mike.
Hey, me, Jerry Jones.
You remember me? Is that how he talked?
Jerry Jones.
Is that how Jerry Jones?
The Dallas Cowboys. That's how he talks, I'm pretty sure.
It's pretty sure. And I agree. I think that's the time. So I
would. Let me just go ahead and take Alex Highsmith right off your hands. That's it. Nailed it.
That was spot on, actually. All I can think about is I'm pretty sure the last time you did that, you had a Doug Dilladome accent.
In my mind, he is Doug Dilladome. That was that last year that I did that?
Might have been.
It's been some time.
Some time.
Sure. Man,
for sure.
I'll come back better next time with that impression.
Look, it's June. We're getting better. It's June 11th. Yeah, I would agree. I think that both time frames there are pretty spot on. Big Daddy Duff. I think the biggest winner of my guy, Big Belly Black, being moved to the nose is PQ because he won't have to deal with the interior being blown up and having AC and guards being able to get hands on him. So I agree with this. However, can I push back on this a little bit?
You can.
I think YA Black's very good, but I also think YA Black got blown up a lot last year. And where I got blown up a lot is in the run game.
Mm-hmm.
That is where YA Black got beat up in 2025. Now, he's a 5th round pick. How much better can you get from one year to the next, I expect significantly.
Mm-hmm.
Sebastian Joseph Day, on the other hand, he's going to make PQ and Peyton Wilson's life 100 times better. He's going to be, in my opinion, if I had to make a bold prediction, Sebastian Joseph Day is the starting nose tackle by week 17.
I think I have 3 thoughts, and I think they might just be in agreement with you, my friend. The first one is, if Y.A. Black was completely ready to be a game-changing nose tackle or just interior defensive lineman, they don't go out and bring in a player like Sebastian Joseph Day, because Sebastian Joseph Day is a player who has started, has won a Super Bowl, can be a rotational backup, sure, but can also be a Tyson Alualu type, where he comes in here and just plug and play, gives you exactly what you need without being exceptional or even quite noticeable in the best sort of ways. Secondly, Y.A. Black was not alone in being blown up in the run game.
No.
Keanu Benton, just as guilty of it, for as great as he was in the pass rushing game. And I think when we talked about him last, it was like 12 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks, something like that. All of those primarily happening, of course, in passing situations.
Yes.
The running game has to improve. Sebastian Joseph Day also is a big part of that. Third, I just sometimes take issue with, yes, you need the first line. You need the line of scrimmage to win. You need your defensive line to win at the line of scrimmage, the first wave of attack to be mitigated. The best middle linebackers, which I keep being told this middle linebacking group is good and amongst the best in the NFL, they eat tackles too, though.
Yes.
And not one of them did last year.
No.
So I have these sort of competing battles where I'm like, yes, improve the trenches, like we always say. What happens if that is secured and then they start missing tackles on the second level?
Yes.
What happens then?
Look, you didn't hear that the inside linebacker room was good for me.
Sure.
Yeah,
that's true. Some people are big believers, and I respect it. And some people I think are just have their heads buried in the sand a little bit.
Yes, and I think that's the case. And again, how much they improve, we'll see. But I do think Sebastian Joseph Day, not whether or not I include the linebackers here or not, is probably the most overlooked signing the Steelers made all offseason, and what he's going to bring to this team for like 1,000,000,000% on this one. So Duff, you're right. You get better nose tackle out there from time to time. It looks good. This one's especially for us. Potato salad live stream from Turkey next offseason.
Is that are Steelers playing there officially?
No, that's for hair transplants. It might have to happen. We might be there.
I do know people, and this is not like I know a guy who did it, it's me. I do know people who have gone to Turkey for hair transplants, and they look great now. And I tell you what, I will never be one of those people. When this hair, and you find folks who tune in and have the displeasure of seeing my face and hairline over the next couple of years, you will document well the receding hairline, because I'm never going to change it. My poor wife has to deal with it. She's, it's funny. Marriage is for life.
Yeah, for sure.
So
my wife doesn't care at all either. I've made it very known. I'm 100% going over to Turkey.
Are you? I'll go with you if you need a chaperone. I've never been.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
appreciate it for sure. I'll turn it into a vacation, and then you guys will just see me wearing big hats on here for like 6 weeks. Big ones, real. They don't touch the head.
If we interview someone, can it just be a business expense?
I'm probably not, but we can figure it out.
Okay, we can talk about it.
We can figure it out. We can just a group trip to if we turn it into a documentary for the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, let's just hope nobody ever gets there, because you're just saying screw it, and I'm
never doing it. No,
mine's starting here and going that way. So I got time. We got
that. That was hilarious. I did just totally miss that joke so much, and I feel so happily dumb. I loved it. Thank you, potato salad.
Return to the Enigma office debate. Ben was never the face of the team. Bettis, Ward, Polamalu, Harrison, AB, and TJ Watt outshined him throughout his career. I agree that he was never the face of the team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would say outshined. And where I go with this is like Bettis never outshined AB, but he was the face of the team. Polamalu did. Ward never did, but he was the face of the team. Harrison never did, but he was the face of the team. AB did. And I think TJ did, but I think it was much closer than you'd think in terms of that. But I don't think Ben ever – I think Ben was like the second face of the team. I think Ben was so bad at being a public figure that it didn't – like he hated talking, hated the media.
Man of action.
Yeah, like he was just naturally kind of like a jerk in terms of like how he just presented himself, which like, and that's to like me and you know what I mean? And not to Joe Schmo walking down the street, but like AB was loud and in your face. TJ Watt was like the just ridiculous defensive player. He's got a huge upper hand. Bettis was the face of the team because he was Jerome Bettis. Polamalu was like, just like the ridiculous, but also like this really humble character. Ben's character was always like, I'm Ben Roethlisberger, dude. I'm going to punch you in the face on the football field and throw for 450 yards because I'm a yinzer, and this is what we do. And I think it fit well, but I think that made him not the face of the team.
Yeah, I don't think he was ever interested in being a quote-unquote face of the team. I don't think the Steelers were quite interested. I think they were very aware. There's a reason NFL organizations have PR teams. You know? I think they were like, there's a role here for Big Ben.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe it's not as our public face, right? And especially when you have guys like Troy Polamalu, who I heard a story about him once where someone I knew was in the same restaurant he was dining at with his family, and no one bothered him and his family, and he paid for the entire restaurant to eat.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And that's just not even the least bit surprising to hear.
No.
Right. And I bet there's a million stories like that. And I bet there's a ton of great other interactions people can just talk about. There was other people that were truly like face of the franchise, someone who you just want to like build a campaign around sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like you just kind of mentioned, like are listed here by our friend. I will also argue there was a couple years, probably during the Killer B era, where maybe Antonio Brown was outshining Big Ben, but the Steelers were Big Ben.
I don't think AB was ever the face of the Steelers.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ever.
I don't think Le'Veon Bell was. They were outshining.
It was always Ben.
Yeah.
It was always Ben. I think that's the thing is like Ben was never like, I guess, quote unquote, the face of the Steelers, but Ben was always the quarterback of the Steelers, always the quarterback of the Steelers. And that came, and he was a good quarterback. You know what I mean?
Definitely,
so like,
definitely
like think of certain teams, like, I mean, you could honestly, as crazy as this sounds, I think at times you could look at the Chiefs and say Travis Kelce was the face of that franchise for a moment or two, or Andy Reid. But like you look at the Eagles back in the Donovan McNabb days, you know what I mean? You look at, I'm trying to think, the San Diego Chargers with Phillip Rivers and LT. You know, LT's the face of the franchise. Phillip Rivers is still respected as Phillip Rivers. I think that's how Ben was. Like Ben was never, he didn't need to be in the spotlight because everybody knew who Big Ben was, you know, and there was a respect level to that, I think.
I think that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Enigma also wants us to know, just so everybody understands, I'm not the one who made the statement. I argued against and just said, and just want the guys to back me up.
Yeah, I think we can definitively say that like he was the face of the franchise.
Oh, he's the quarterback.
Whether he was the vocal,
the biggest name.
He was the biggest name for a long time.
I don't think he was but I think that's where it's like I think TJ and AB at times were like the biggest name in Pittsburgh, but Ben was Ben Roethlisberger. You know what I mean? He was the glue to it all. And I think that's where
The glue and the goo.
The glue and the goo. That's what he was. Andy Joe. In your to go this morning, I've been harping on Jack Sawyer as a sleeper since the Colts game last season. He had a solid backup he's a solid backup, that has, in my opinion, some big upside. Just a fan of the sophomore. I am too. I'm excited to see Jack Sawyer. Again, we got to see Jack Sawyer. Give me Jack Sawyer on Troy Fautano with some pads on. Let's see what happens. Mm-hmm. But I think that's the one piece of this that we're all like, and then they got Jack Sawyer. It's like, and then they have Jack Sawyer, who played well last year as a rookie and is not a star, but played well as a rookie and could be a number 3, I think, in the NFL if given the opportunity. If he shows that in camp.
Yeah, there's obviously lots to prove on the football field, but I think there is legitimate good player potential in Jack Sawyer. I don't know where that might be a backup, a rotational piece that might eventually mean a starter, but there's a lot to like about Jack Sawyer. So, I mean, yeah, good on Andy Joe. I think it's great on us for recognizing it as well. And anyone else who's talking about just like what they have in Jack Sawyer, I maintain that the sort of carousel of having too many edge rushers is going to continue because Jack Sawyer eventually will present a problem to the Pittsburgh Steelers because he's going to outplay the role he has.
Yes.
So I'm in agreement there.
Yeah, I am too. He's on a very short list of guys that I'm like, I think you could change the whole dynamic of this team with a good training camp.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I really do. Jared here. What would be more dissatisfying? Mark
Madden.
Yeah, that's what I was going with. Mike McCarthy wins us a Super Bowl, but has 2 losing seasons and 2 first-round exits, or having no losing seasons, but only winning 1 playoff game during his tenure. Oh, go win a Super Bowl and then suck. Who cares? You won a Super Bowl. If you win a Super Bowl, you have 10 years before you need to win the next one before people start caring, because you have those 10 years to say, we did it, dude. We did everything we need to do to get there. Now we just got to figure it out again, and it's going to take time to figure it out again. Very few teams go back to back to back to back, and you got to have a Patrick Mahomes style team. You have to have a Tom Brady, like nobody's looking at the Seahawks and saying, if you don't win a Super Bowl for the next 5 years, you stink. The Rams, perfect example.
No one's mad.
Nobody's mad.
I absolutely understand, where our friend Jared's coming from here. Like, there's some frustration sort of embedded in either of these scenarios, right?
Yeah,
but
for sure.
The frustration does not feel as frustrating if you are a recent Super Bowl champion. I love what you just said there, Noah.
Yeah.
No, if Seattle sucks for the next 5 years, genuinely, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be disappointing and frustrating.
It stinks, but
you're like, man, we're like 26 season, all party. 27 season, you're like, man, we party too hard in 26, but we're still really good.
Yep.
Even in 28, you're like, all right, we're getting it back. It's not even until 2029 where you're like, oh man, okay, maybe that team that won in 25 is gone.
Yes.
That's 4 years of partying. That's a good time.
I agree.
I'm good with it.
I am too. I think that's, again, nothing matters once you win a Super Bowl. You're trying to win it again, but if the sacrifice is 2 losing seasons,
sign me up.
Sign me up, dude. Sign me up all day. Potato salad. F it. Put Darnell at tackle, dude. Do you know how mad Darnell Washington would be if you said, hey, we paid you tight end 2 money and you're going to play tackle?
Mm-hmm.
You just lost $30 million. He said it last year. He was joking, but he said it last year in a backs on backers rep that he won.
Which is unfair that he participates in.
Somebody was like, well, Pat does too. And from time to time.
One of these things is not like the others.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And yes. And Darnell was out there and somebody yelled, like, put him at tackle, like a player yelled that. And he was like, you better pay me as one then. And like, that's the truth. That's a $20 million gap that you.
As we dove into, you're talking about an average guy getting 20 million plus versus he got what, 21 million guaranteed, and he's going to make about 10-12 million dollars.
Yeah, somewhere in that ballpark.
Very different, but
very different.
His ability to block is superb.
Oh, it's crazy.
Your SAT word of the day, superb.
Superb for sure. And he'd take it. He'd say, "Yeah, I'll move tackle today. Pay me like it. Sounds good to me.
I'm gonna hold out till you pay me like a tackle."
Yeah, you're gonna pay me a lot more money. That sounds good to me. Yogi Bear here. Oh, excuse me. Who was the last player the Steelers picked up the 5th-year option?
Oh, that's a great question.
I want to say, got the hiccups. It wasn't Devin Bush. Wow, what is going on right now?
Not Broderick Jones.
No, not Broderick Jones, not Najee Harris. What is happening to me right now? Was it TJ Watt?
I imagine that would have had to have been the last one, right? TJ Watt in 17. The next one was Terrell Edmonds, Devin Bush, and Najee, Kenny, Broderick.
No.
Artie Burns was definitely not one.
No, it's TJ. Had
Did
to be
they
TJ.
even have to pick up his 5th-year option, or had they already agreed to an extension?
I don't know.
I'm gonna look up his contract history.
I can't believe I have the hiccups right now. Middle of a show.
You know what we say when Jude has them?
What?
Got the hip ups. Got the
You know what I say when I have them?
What?
They're pissing me off.
Oh, okay. That's different. You can't say that to a baby.
You could. He doesn't know what you're saying either way, but you could.
Yeah, that's true. But you know what's crazy on this edition of All Parents Talk? Babies can absolutely feel when you're like, like if you're like messing with them, like being like, not sweet and not nice, they definitely like pick up what you're on your vibe.
They're like, hey, Dick, relax.
Like, hey,
calm it
dude,
down there, buddy.
Chill.
Calm it down.
Or check yourself before I throw up on
before I wreck yourself.
Dude, my son threw up on me so much before I came here.
That sucks.
That's why I got here so late.
That sucks.
It was all over me.
That sucks so bad.
Loved it.
That sucks so bad. Yep, it's TJ.
He signed a rookie extension in 2021, but
so it wasn't TJ, right?
Correct.
Let's see. Picked up
because he signed his 4-year, 112
option.
He signed a 4-year, $112 million contract going into his.
I don't even know. It says Google says TJ. I don't know if it would be TJ.
I know that started in 2021. When did he sign it? TJ Watt signs.
Oh, it's gonna tell you the last one.
4-year, $112 million contract. We gotta be specific for the Google here in this riveting television, or not television. What are we on YouTube?
YouTube.
He signed it in September of 2021. So right before the 2021 season started. So
yeah, so they probably
the Steelers picked it up and then negotiated the extension in the months after.
So technically TJ's. That's crazy to me. That is crazy. That's how long it's been. Return to the Enigma. You think the next face is already on the team? No, I don't. I don't even know who it would be.
I think Jeremy Bernard is the only player who's remotely possible, but I don't think he's a
you got to be ridiculous to be
franchise.
A wide receiver. Yeah. No.
Zach Frazier is
it's never going to be a lineman.
Cam Hayward like leader that could be here for a decade, but I don't think it's the franchise.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I don't think it would him. I don't think he is. I don't think there's anybody. Nick Herbig would be like the closest, but like he's not that guy yet. Mm-hmm. I don't think he is.
Yeah, if Herbig had 15 sacks this year, suddenly he feels like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That I agree with. Nate Moore, any chance Frazier accepts a team-friendly deal? No chance.
Yeah, I think it can be team-friendly if it's above $25 million.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to pay me 28, just 26.5.
Just 26.5, 27.9.
Yeah, somewhere in that ballpark. Nate's got another one. If Broderick's market is lowering, I would throw a 1-year prove-it deal at him as the Steelers and see if he can find a place in the offensive line, maybe a guard. I say just cut your ties and move on. You have a Jennings Dunker.
He ain't finding his spot at guard.
You're not. He's
not finding his. I said like let's okay. We're past the hour mark here, so I'll take that as my own boundary falling. Like the professional side's like he's not an NFL player anymore.
No,
and he's not one with the Steelers. And I think if they were to keep taking the risk, they're only prolonging what's eventually going to happen, which is that they need to release him.
Yes.
So I respectfully, I think disagree with what Nate's proposing.
when it comes to Broderick Jones, the biggest concern I have is how small he's gotten. And he's gotten skinnier this year, which to me
it was concerning last year. We talked about it on this pod.
Yes.
We were like, he's so little.
It's just gotten worse. And it's not going to last. Like, you got to either find a way to put on weight or you're going to get pushed out of the NFL. And you can't move him to guard. You can't say, hey, you can't put Broderick Jones at guard. He's too skinny.
Exactly. He'll get eaten alive.
Guards are bigger.
Yeah.
You know, that's just, I would just cut ties and say, hey, somebody else could figure it out. And if they do, great. I like Broderick Jones. But if not, it wouldn't really surprise me at all.
Agreed. He seems cool. I'd love to hang out with him, like, just as a person.
Sure.
But like, I just don't think he's an NFL lineman.
Yeah, I agree. KGK is for life. Who needs the World Cup? We got the AST Cup right in front of us. I watched the mug, so we're close. We're one step away from this being up here.
Let's go.
We're one step away.
Let's go.
How long that one step takes? I mean, you guys know me. That could be months, but we're one step away.
That's close. Yeah, no,
we are. We're borderline there. You know, borderline. Well, let's go. Do they try and sign Spencer Anderson to any type of extension? He was a 2023 guy too.
No, they're under no pressure to, in my opinion.
No, Omar's made it known that he would like to have some negotiations with him, but I don't think it'll be big enough to sign him. You also, like, you drafted Jennings Dunker in the 3rd round. You have some expectation that he's going to start at some point in his career. I don't think it's this year. Maybe it's not even next year, but you have some expectation that guy's going to eventually take over.
I think I agree with that for sure. And my thinking would be, even if he plays well, he starts all 17 games.
Yeah.
How much of a market is there going to be for him?
No, not much.
There's like, people will be like, what?
Yeah.
Spencer Anderson started 17
yes.
games? Like, and the Steelers will be like, we know this. He's good.
Yeah.
He played for us. I don't think it's going to create a hot market like we sort of talked about today with Mason McCormick, possibly Zach Frazier, Troy Fautanu. They can get him back on another 1-year deal next offseason if he comes in here and plays well.
Or if he's great, you could sign him to a 3-year deal with $8 million a year. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, either way, he's cheap, and that's an option that you don't need to do that this one. Like, what are you signing Spencer for? $4 million a year right now? Like, he's not going to take a deal. They're not going to.
Yeah, I don't think he would be interested in that at all.
I don't think so either.
He's trying to establish himself as a starting guard in the NFL.
Yeah, I think that would be the case. Would they like to extend everybody? Sure. But sometimes the logistics just don't make sense. And let's finish off with Dave here. What's more likely? Aaron throws over 4,000 yards, or the defense is number 2 overall by the end of the season? This is actually a tough one.
Aaron Rodgers.
4,000. What did he throw for last year?
35.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers by a mile. By a mile. I think defense could be number 2 overall by the end of the season. I think that's really possible. I have more faith in Patrick Graham than I do Mike McCarthy as a coach, truthfully.
Really?
Yeah, I love Patrick Graham. I'm so all in on Patrick Graham. It's crazy. And maybe that's going to come back to bite me in the butt. But whatever.
Might, buddy. Might.
But I would say Aaron throwing for 4. He's going to throw the ball all the time.
He's certainly going to throw the ball all the time. I think I think I have more faith in Mike McCarthy than Patrick Graham. Okay. Simply because of the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl win. Yeah.
That Mike McCarthy won.
Well, Patrick Graham's got, I mean, he's like an assistant.
Sure.
He's got like 3, I think, with the Patriots.
That's great. That's great. I don't count that as important.
Means as much as Joe Montana.
Yes. I count that as importantly as the 94 work he did with Joe Montana. I have a little bit more faith in him. I have serious doubts about both of these that our friend Dave threw at us. I don't think Aaron Rodgers sniffs 4,000 yards, to be quite honest.
What?
But I don't think this defense.
What is not sniff?
I think if he gets to 3,500 yards, we're talking about. We're talking about, wow, he crushed it.
Yeah, I thought you were like regressing.
No, I don't think he's going to get below 3,000.
Dude, MVS isn't here.
Yeah, they're going to throw the ball. And he can still throw the ball. You know what I mean? He can't move well, but he can throw the ball. They're going to find ways to get the ball out of his hands quickly and hopefully give him enough time to make some plays. He's going to pick up 3,500 yards, 3,600 yards. I don't think 4,000 is really in the ballpark, but I think it's even less likely that this defense is the number 2 defense overall as much as I love Patrick Graham and what he's bringing to this defense, I think the best this team was so bad on defense last year. They were the legitimate 4th worst passing defense, the 7th worst rushing defense overall. They allowed, I think, they're the 7th worst overall defense in terms of yards allowed per game, and I think the 13th worst rushing defense. This team has so far to go to be a top 10 defense.
Yeah.
Top 2 feels out of the question for me, which is why I pick Rodgers, but this feels like a both ain't gonna happen for me, and I apologize to end on a sour note.
It was a big question. It was a big question.
Great question.
It was a great question. Shout out to Dave. Shout out to Dave as always. All right. With that said, yeah, I was reading it too.
I would love to do that.
Not on here. That would be
not on here. And unfortunately, I have a child, so I can't.
Out of the question, dude. With that said, we're heading out here. Thank you so much for jumping on to another episode of All Steelers Talk. Before we get out of here, hit that like and subscribe button, but also a reminder that tomorrow, the members only live stream, first one ever, 1 p.m. Eastern time, youtube.com/All Steelers Talk. It'll be up there. Check it out. Jump in, ask your questions. We'll be on for about a half hour or so. Me, Jacob, Jack, chilling, talking Steelers, recapping OTAs, having a good time, talking to you guys. Make sure that you're there. With that said, subscribe to youtube.com/All Steelers Talk. Check us out anywhere you get your podcasts. As always, find all our work at si.com/NFL/Steelers, and we'll be back tomorrow. Until then, enjoy another beautiful day in the Berg.